Guys, thanks for waiting. We've got the squad together. We're here on another exciting Flying Pig United fan preview for the Norwich game. We've got my fellow guests, G Wolf. How you doing?
All good, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, doing good as usual, mate. And Usman Talks United. How you doing, mate?
I'm well, bro. I'm good to be back. Obviously, it's been a while, but I'm looking forward to getting into it.
Cool. And Case Slater, you not been on for a bit. How you doing, lad?
Good. Thank you very much to Pig for having me on, and good to see you boys.
Yeah, man. You too. And everyone in the chat, I got to see who's in here first, actually. People, get in your likes, like and subscribe. You know the policy by now. You've seen us fans come on and help Piggo with the content. So like and subscribe. We're still not quite at the 50K. I think it's a few hundreds left to go. I'm not sure, but just keep subscribing. It's free content, and it's diversifying. So you got nothing to lose. Like and subscribe. Piggo may be on he should be on for FIFA later on at 11 o'clock. So yeah, keep your notifications on. But yeah, we're going to get into it then. We're here to talk about Norwich, and they're supposed to be the whipping boys. Really, they're supposed to be the whipping boys. They're in 20th place, which I like to see on the table. They got 10 points, but yeah, they can stay up, because obviously it's only been 15 games. Newcastle also on 10 points, Burnley on 10 points, and then there's like 3 points they have to get to try and overtake Watford. So they're going to be fighting in this game. They're going to be fighting. They've just had that new manager come in. Remind me of his name. Is it Dan something? What's his name?
Dean Smith.
Dean Smith.
Dean Smith. Yeah. I'm really not sure about that appointment, because it's not like they had a plan. Because did they plan on him getting sacked from Villa, and then they were going to get him in? It's like I didn't really get that appointment, but I think he's actually had some of their best form under him. I think he's got like, what is it?
They're on a resurgence, aren't they?
If you can call it that, they've had like one win and a draw and a couple losses, and they've not been getting battered. I don't think actually in the last few games. If that's something for them to build on, but we're still on our manager bounce, So I'm expecting Man United to go to work really and just make an example of them. I'm just trying to look at like what their previous games were. So they lost their previous game 3-0 to Tottenham. They drew 1-1 with Newcastle before that, 0-0 with Wolves before that, and then they had 2 wins before that as well. That's like the best form they've had in a few seasons. So they've got 2 wins, 2 draws, and a loss. That's good form for Norwich.
So they've been held right. So in the last 10, right, they've been held scoreless 6 times. 6 times, right? They've conceded 16 goals, scored 5.
In the last 10.
In the last 10.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a reason why they're way down.
Yeah, but surely you should analyze it from when Dean Smith got appointed. So what's his actual record? Because I don't think we need to bring Farker's record into it, because it was quite evident that he wasn't up to scratch.
Yeah. I think he was in charge for the Brentford game. I'm pretty sure. I think that was his last game.
I mean, I'm not 100% sure, but if you were to say our last 10 games, we've conceded more goals than them. Because we conceded 15 and 5 on Dali. So
I was going to say that it's more relevant to look at the Dean Smith tenure, if you can call it that yet. So I'm pretty sure it's the last 4 games he's had. One win, 2 draws, 1 loss. So they got battered by Tottenham. On paper, it looks like that, but I'm sure we've seen the highlights on Match of the Day. They had like 60% possession in that game, and Tottenham were playing counter-attack at home. It's a bit shameful for them to be doing counter-attack at home. I don't know if that's the way of the manager. I don't think that's the way of Conte to be doing that kind of thing against minnows. I don't think. But yeah, they lost 3-0, so they're not going to have confidence. I'm just going to run through the injury news for our team. Obviously, Pogba, not long term. He's out for a couple of weeks. He's been recovering in Dubai.
He's out until January, isn't he? The end of January.
Yeah, he's out for a couple more weeks, so we could see him in January. Ralph was saying that he needs to get some match fitness as well, so we could see him come back and be tried in the system. So that'll be a question as to where he goes into, like what position, if he goes into the holding midfield or if he plays as like one of the 10s. Let me just run through some more injury news. Raphael Varane, yeah, it's a shame he's still out, and from the source I'm looking at, it's Sports Mold, is saying that it's still unknown as to when he's coming back. But a few weeks before, when I was looking at that injury news, it said he was going to be available for Crystal Palace. So he's still struggling with a hamstring injury. So I don't think we'll see him. Cavani still got a tendon issue as well. So the return date for him, he's not even marked what date he's going to come back yet. Martial, we've seen. I think you guys have seen what's going on, right? With the fact that he wants to leave. He's got a knee injury. That's what the club's been saying. It's a bit iffy as to whether he's actually injured, because there was I think we know there was some game day where he was just out of the squad and they said he was injured, but he wasn't. His girlfriend, was it his girlfriend or wife, was on social media saying Martial's not been injured. He's been at home on the exercise bike. So I reckon we've seen the last of Martial. When we've seen him, he's not even looked interested. I mean, his body language has never been that great, but he looks like he's just on his way out, really. So I think that is we've got Aaron Wan-Bissaka as well is actually a doubt. He's still got he's got a knee injury as well. He took a few knocks in that last game, so he's having a bad time, man. I know that's not one of Usman's guys right now. I was challenging on the last podcast about whether Aaron can come into the team, but hey, coincidentally, he's having a bad time with injuries. So we're gonna see it's gonna be your man, Dallo, isn't it? That's your man now, isn't it? I think
it's not about being my man. I don't. I've learned basically my lesson from having favourites. Long story short, and Wan-Bissaka's not doing it. He shouldn't be playing. It's as simple as that. And that goes for Dalot, that goes for Pogba, Martial, Rashford, and co. I mean, at the end of the day, if you're not performing, and Wan-Bissaka's been a 1 out of 10 in the entirety of the season, so Dalot deserves a chance, and he's took it for me. So hold bench until you're fit. Simple as that, really.
Yeah, and then Shaw as well. I don't know what you guys view is on him. I mean, in that last game, I heard Ralph Rangnick was getting a little bit frustrated with him. He was actually telling him to bomb forward. He had to coach him, do things like that. He wasn't injured when he came off, I don't think.
No, his concussion rule. That's why I had to come off at the 60th minute.
Oh, that's the rule then. Okay.
Yeah, that's the rule. So when you come back from concussion, you get a 60-minute cap in the next game for medical reasons. That's why he came off. But just to add on that, again, Luke Shaw is similar to Wan-Bissaka. Both of them, I feel, have gone very complacent with their starting positions because they've not really had any threat to their role. And Luke Shaw, at the end of the day, he needs to be providing what Tellers is doing, bare minimum, if not exceeding what Tellers is doing on the pitch if he wants to be playing week in, week out. And that's how it should be at Manchester United Football Club. I'm a massive fan of Luke Shaw and always have been. But at the end of the day, I agree with Rangnick. The guy, what was he doing in that game? We were playing against young boys, and you're meant to be one of the most senior players, and he offered next to nothing. I know he got the assist for Greenwood's goal, which is fair enough. But minus that, he didn't do much going forward. I don't think he offered anything alongside some of the other players on the pitch.
Okay, I want to hear what the other boys have got to say about the fullbacks as well, but I didn't do proper shout-outs to people getting in chat. People keep getting in. We're on 20 likes. Thanks for the update. Avenger Masters always getting in here. Thanks for that. Pav Saywood, the Vujinator, good to see you being a mod in here. Keep the chat in line. Naz786, good to see you again. And Aaron Homeyard, one of the mods, good to see you. Yeah, everyone keep hitting the like and keep interacting. We're going to get into the chat when we can. So, yeah, G-Wolf, what do you think to the fullback situation?
Well, Luke Shaw, does it is he having deja vu? Because wasn't it Mourinho kept on saying the same thing?
Yeah, he did that.
He said
he had sidelines,
exactly. So exactly the same thing. He hasn't been great this season. In all honesty, it's frustrating to see because he had a fantastic season last season, I thought.
Yeah, it was all right. It was all right. I mean,
this
I've heard people
season.
say it was just a good 6 months that we got from him. I mean, we were calling him. I don't know if everyone was calling him Shawberto Carlos. I was anyway. I was getting caught up in the hype, but yeah, well, I think we do have to overall see more consistency. But
That's
this is
it.
good.
And
It's good that we're talking about this. There's some good competition for the fullback position.
that's it. And like
Yeah.
tell us he's come in and he's taken his chance. Like when he first came here, I was a bit skeptical. Like maybe he's just going to be a backup to Shaw, and we won't get to see as much of him. But since he's come into the squad under Rangnick, he's a lot better. He's a better. He looks better than Luke Shaw at the moment. So maybe changing shift of that side, and with Aaron Wan-Bissaka, like with Dallo against against Young Boys, he got done, didn't he? He kept on getting done by that bargain basement.
You know about Danjuma against Villarreal?
Yeah, Villarreal.
That's the one. Villarreal. I thought it was Young Boys. Sorry, my bad.
You see, this is why I don't want to really back Dalot yet. I need to see more. I need to see, because in that Crystal Palace game, I don't think what's his name, Zaha, really tested him enough. He looked like he was off the pace. He was just coming back from injury as well. I don't know if we actually remember Zaha was not actually proper fit for that game. So I want to see Dalot get tested a bit more and see if he's actually going to keep Wan-Bissaka at the team.
True, but yeah. I think it, like as Osman said, he's taken his chance and he's been doing bits as well. So yeah, go on. If the fullback, our regular fullbacks, are not doing the job, then at least we've got fantastic backup as support.
Yeah, we got a great squad. So
we have now.
Kay Slater, what are you thinking? What's your view on the fullback position? Like, who's your guys to really be the starters?
I think over time, for me, I think over time, I think it's going to be Shaw. But I think that his form is telling me right now that it's Telles's time, or as Andy Mitten says, Telis, Portuguese Telis.
That's how you say it in Portuguese, is it? Telis.
Yeah. So, but I have to think that right now, Shaw, I mean, he won Manchester United's Player of the Year from his peers for the 2020-2021 season. So it wasn't that far that he was like that people were saying, oh, he's really had a good season. I don't know whether he's burned out. I don't know whether it's motivation, whether he feels like he's just entitled to be our left back. Whatever it is, though, I agree that he's come in. He's done the job. New manager has come in, so I say let's ride Alex. Let's run him out. Give him more than just 1 or 2 games and see how he does. I love that Dalot went out to AC Milan and kind of earned his chops. He learned a little bit more about defensive positioning. He's come back a better player, and now I think Martial, like Aaron Wan-Bissaka, is a confidence guy. I think Aaron Wan-Bissaka is a confidence guy that when he knows that people have confidence in him, he plays better. Right now, I don't think Wan-Bissaka has any confidence in himself, and I think Dalot has a lot of confidence in himself the way that he's playing. So I'm saying let's ride Alex Telles and let's ride Diogo Dalot, and let's see what these boys can produce in a long run out under this new manager. I'm excited to see it.
Yeah, man. I'm excited for how long it's going to take for us to get into the Gegenpress as well. It's good that we're talking, proper football. This is what I like to talk about, instead of maybe just focusing on what players want it more and things like that, which should be a given. Talking about proper tactics is the good thing. People in the chat, I don't want to isolate you guys, so please get in what fullback combination you guys want. So in terms of Norwich, I'm just thinking whether we've got to even worry about them. Ralph was talking about them in the press conference, and one thing I noted is that Rangnick said that Norwich play more direct now since they've been under Dean Smith. So, and then we've been through their form. They're not shipping in too many goals, apart from 3-0 against Tottenham, they've not been shipping in a lot of goals. So they could. I don't know if that 3-0 loss stops their manager bounce. Really, I mean, obviously, as a top team, our manager bounce should be way better. You know, we've got a proper cultured man at the helm. They've got a second-hand manager that they didn't even plan on getting. Really, if you look at it, you know, it's pretty much just an Aston Villa reject. You know, so are any of you guys worried about a potential slip up at Norwich? Like, what do you guys think?
Nah, not at all. I think it will be pure gegenpressing style as you did against Crystal Palace. And
go ahead, G Wolf.
I was going to say, and I think that we'll win it with ease. I think our long days without, working hard for the result, I think with this style of play is what everybody has wanting to been seeing for a long time, especially under Ollie. But with Ollie, as much as you wanted him to do well, he obviously hadn't got that. He didn't do that, and we got that lackluster performances from him week in, week out. Whereas under Rangnick, you're seeing us on the front foot, which is a surprising change.
Yeah,
and which is what everyone wants to see as a Man United fan, especially me. With me in the 90s when I was watching them. Wow, we was attacking straight from the off.
Right. You're showing your age. You're showing your age,
I am indeed. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I hear what you're saying, mate. Case later, you're about to come in with something. I just want to highlight what people were saying in terms of their fullback combination before I get to you. Tellez Shaw from Avenger Mast. Naz is saying Dallo Tellez. Yeah, there's going to be quite a few different opinions. Manu Pasta saying Tellez and Dallo flamboyant. Yeah. But yeah, Case Letter, what was your views then in terms of Norwich then?
I just wanted to, when I look at this matchup, I think that this is the perfect matchup to see his system and these players, because I don't think that Norwich is going to offer much. I'm sorry, some people in the chat may fear Pookie. I don't. I don't fear the Pookie.
I don't either, man. He's toothless up front. He's missing a lot of chances, man.
Right. So I look at this matchup and I say, if we don't score at least 3 goals, there's something wrong with G Wolf. All right. That's if we're not scoring 3 goals minimum, and I'm saying Ronaldo with like 2, I'm saying Greenwood with 1 or 2. This is a game where we can really establish ourselves and take possession. And this is the kind of game where I think we can really enjoy as a fan base. That's my thinking and my feeling going in. I'm trying not to be overconfident, Usman. I am trying to remain humble here, but it's really hard facing Norwich. It's really hard.
Yeah, Usman, can I set you up a bit before you go into it? Yeah, I'm sure you saw after the that last game in the Champions League. Yeah, it was 1-1, right? Mm-hmm. Van der Beek made the mistake for the goal where he tried to do a short pass on the edge of the box. They pressed us, got that top corner goal. Rangnick was saying he told the players when they're playing in the holding midfield not to pass into the other team's first phase of their press. Do you remember that, hearing that kind of thing? So it's like the players are not, obviously it's not been long enough to learn Rangnick's proper philosophy.
That was the only mistake Van der Beek really made in our final third, should I say. Look, I'm happy that Rangnick has come out and given us a tactical, overview of, mistakes that were made in the game, because it's good to hear. But at the same time, I feel like the Van der Beek mistake was a combination of 2 players not being on the same page. Look, Wan-Bissaka, if that's somebody else potentially, again, it's definitely Van der Beek's fault, not Wan-Bissaka's fault. But Wan-Bissaka is still culpable because he was switched off and he wasn't expecting the pass for whatever reason. In another scenario, of course, he can clear the ball. There's other facets. Maybe play a safer pass. But yeah, for me personally, I don't want to look into it too much. I'm happy that Rangnick is not settling for these individualities, because that's something that was happening a lot under the previous manager, and I'm happy he's trying to nip it in the bud. So I do see it as a positive. But for me personally, I'm not seeing it as a negative, in the sense that it's something we need to overreact with. It's one mistake. It happens in football, and I thought Van de Beek overall was fairly solid to us.
So yeah, I was going to ask as well, Usman, against Norwich side, right? We're going to have Fred. I think most likely we're going to get into what we think positions are going to go to which players, right?
Yeah,
I think most likely it's going to be McTominay and Fred in that holding midfield role, right? Do you think we're going to see any of those kind of mistakes where the players are making those wrong passes? Where Ralph is saying, don't pass like into that kind of area where the other team's pressing. Yeah, he's told them, don't pass into that area when the other team's pressing. Yeah, do you expect to see any mistakes, or are we going to see that kind of system that Ralph Rangnick is trying to teach? Is that going to be really executed well to the point where we see a good performance for longer than the 30 minutes that we had against Crystal Palace?
I mean, look, to say that McFred will not make a mistake on the ball is absolutely ludicrous for me to come and say that, because they would definitely make a couple of mistakes on the ball without a shadow of a doubt. I mean, the question would be, is are they going to press? I agree with Jared. I don't think Norwich are going to offer much going forward. I'd be very surprised if they tried to press us from the front and allow us to easily pass around them, to be quite frankly honest with you. So I don't even think that's going to come into play against a team like Norwich, because I expect them to sit back in 2 banks of 4 and try to hit us on the counter attack. So I don't think it's going to come into play. Regarding Scott McTominay, I'm sure you've seen his interview. I wasn't happy with McTominay, to be honest. If you actually look at McTominay's reaction to the question compared to Van de Beek's reaction, Van de Beek stood there and took ownership of his mistake, while Scott McTominay's there just completely twisting the words like he's a politician and completely almost disagreeing with the notion that he doesn't pass it sideways and he doesn't play brave football. So, yeah, for me, McTominay is definitely going to make mistakes because he's under pressure. He knows his place is up for grabs, so we'll have to wait and see what he does.
I mean, do any of you guys see a Van de Beek getting started, in front of him? Because that would be the reasonable guy to come in for McTominay, is a Van de Beek. I don't think we'll see Mata come into the team. I didn't really get that addition to the team for that Young Boys game, even though it was a free hit. I don't see him coming into the Premier League and doing much. But guys, do we think McTominay can really, hold down the position in this team then? Because I'm not liking because Usman, I didn't even see what you were talking about with that interview.
I didn't see the interview.
No, I didn't see it.
I'll just give a quick brief. So for everyone who hasn't
go
seen
ahead.
it, basically the interview asked him, what are your thoughts on Rangnick's comments about you, saying you continue to pass it sideways and backwards, and then he responded, something on the lines. Basically, got rattled by the question for whatever reason, and he responded with a really bad tone. Like, it was almost like he took a lot of offense to the question, so I don't understand why. And then the interview then proceeded by asking him, do you feel like you need to be more brave on the ball, etc.? And then again, he was being defensive regarding that matter and just not owning it. Like, for me personally, if I was McTominay, it's a very easy question to answer. The manager's expecting more from us, and we need to implement what he wants. Like, it's as simple as that. I don't understand why he got so defensive. So for me, it suggests that he's under pressure, personally.
Guys, what are your thoughts then?
I don't think McTominay will come in. I don't think Donny will come in for McTominay straight away. I think it will be a process, like a process, like when we tried to when we shifted Rooney out, we had that transition of playing another striker before we actually.
But when was this? What season are you talking about?
Wasn't it when Rooney came out and said that he wanted to leave?
Oh, okay. 2009, 10, was it?
Wasn't it then? And then Alex Ferguson sort of like shielded him from the from the shielding him from the media. So then he sort of was playing someone else. No,
I'm not sure. You're going back quite a bit. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't know what exactly you're referring to.
But what I was going to say is, yeah, right, maybe that's what Magnum might do under with McTominay, like, you know, get Donny in, like bring Donny on for McTominay for half time, and then eventually give Donny that starting role. That's what I meant.
Okay. Okay, Slater, what's your thoughts?
I think, you know, in this type of game, you know, for me, I think that we're going to have the majority of the possession. So I don't feel like we need to have both McFred in that lineup as the two, you know, protecting, holding in front of the back four. So I would put in Donny, but one thing that I want to say is that I love the fact that this manager has come in and said, I'm not afraid to throw in young players. I'm not afraid to throw in all of these academy players. Shout out, by the way, to Zidane Iqbal. All of these players, but Zidane Iqbal, I'm all over that. But to give these run out to these young academy players, he's evaluating all of them. He's evaluating Mata. He's evaluating.
How long? Sorry to interrupt. How long did Zidane Iqbal get? Was it a few minutes in that Young Boys game? I wanted to see more.
Yeah, about 6 minutes, I think.
Yeah. Have you seen his highlights in the academy? That he's got some skills on them. You know, I'm sure Osman.
He's a baller, man. He's a baller. He's looking like a real talent. But I obviously Jared was going, so I'll give the floor to Jared before we get into it.
No, I just wanted to say that yes, I would put in Donny, but I think that his mindset right now is to evaluate the players that he has in this particular squad, and then see how he can integrate or change these other positions to fit his system. So he's trying out the ones that we know, the Fred, the McTominay. You know, he was trying out Tony in his first game, right, Marshall? So I just feel like he's going through this evaluation period. And then, like G Wolf said, once he's made this evaluation and he's like, yeah, I don't like this guy. I don't like this guy. Like, I'm going to Ilanga. I loved him in training. I'm going to be playing him. I think he's making these things. And I think in a couple games, I think we'll see what his squad and the ones that he wants to go with. But I think he's going to start with Scott and Fred.
Okay, fair enough. Osman, I'm sure you were going to go into some points over the youth and obviously, especially Zidane Iqbal, who's exciting a few people.
No, look, obviously, just to touch upon what Jared said, look, it's a breath of fresh air just to see Rangnick give these guys the opportunity. I mean, a lot of them won't forget this moment for the rest of their life. Even Tom Heaton got an opportunity to finally make his Manchester United debut.
I didn't even notice that, by the way.
I know, but I mean, it's kind of been overlooked, rightfully so, because of kids. But I thought that was an absolute class touch from Rangnick. That is a touch of class from Rangnick, because there's no way on God's earth you substitute a goalkeeper on, and he doesn't need to do that as well. The guy's 35. I mean, he's just got no future at the club, quite evidently. He's a number 3, etc., etc. But that was a classy touch from Rangnick, so I was very happy. But to come back to their Langer point, I think that their Langer substitution is very iconic for me in the sense that we're 0-0 against Crystal Palace in a game that we need to win, right? Rangnick needs to win the game. Man United needed 3 points. And he subs on Elanga for Marcus Rashford. Marcus Rashford is quite evidently the star at Man United at the moment. We know that he's the poster boy, whatever you want to call it, for good reason as well. But that substitution says to me, regardless of who you are, if you are not performing, you will come off the pitch. And I will trust the likes of Elanga. The amount of confidence that's going to give, not only to Elanga, but all the people below him, i.e. coming through the academy, the likes of Shaw Thierry, who also got substituted on, and all the other young lads who will potentially aspire to be Man United players one day. That is going to give them so much confidence because they know they've got a clear pathway to actually get into the team if you work hard. He said in his press conference prior to that substitution the day before, Elanga's really impressed me in training. And guess what? When we needed a goal, who gets subbed on? Elanga. Didn't need to make that sub. You could have quite easily left Rashford on the pitch. We've seen it time and time again under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Rashford would 110% play the 90 minutes there, and people would have said, oh, Rashford's not doing X, Y, and Z. This isn't a knock on Rashford. It's more the bigger picture. It gives a lot of confidence to the other people who are the fringe players, knowing they got a clean slate, knowing they got an actual opportunity to be in this team. There's no such thing as favourites. It's on merit, and I absolutely love that. Regarding the youth players, absolutely elated for every single one of them, including Robbie Savage's son. Well, I thought that was a beautiful moment as well for the family, of course. And he actually looked like a decent player as well, unlike his dad, which was a good touch as well. But yeah, listen, overall, the youngsters, man, they got bright futures ahead of them, which is what you want to see at this club.
I just wish we still had the Carabao Cup so we could actually, because I'm sure Rangnick would definitely play some of these guys in that cup.
Yeah.
Because
unless Angel Gomez as well, man. Gomez he's one of our brightest sparks when we sold him.
That's another big miss there. But it's like maybe we need to get some kind of silverware if we can. So I don't see them coming and starting in the FA Cup. Yeah. I mean, maybe a few guys might come in like Elanga or Ahmad. Well, I'm not sure about that. I've got to right now under this.
I like Mengi too. I was really impressed. Sorry to interrupt, Eddie. I just wanted to say that I was really impressed with Mengi, the way that he was composed, and his athleticism. I thought that he played extremely well in his limited time.
Okay. Before I've got because I'm not really sure about Elanga, but let me just honor the super chat. First, cheeky super chat of appreciation for the legends Eddie O2, G Wolf, Usman, and Jared, as well as everyone in the chat. Oh, I love that Gongshi. He's one of the great mods. He's been in this community for ages. Thanks for that, mate. We need that kind of confidence there with that, man. Thanks for that. But yeah, I mean, I've not seen enough with. I mean, Elanga's got a few goals when he's played on the Ole as well. Ahmad got some pace. I mean, both of them have got pace. I just because I love dribbling. I love wingers that can dribble. I'm still yet to see these guys, get the ball, face up the man, and take them on. I mean, we're a top team. We should have people like Nani coming through again. We've had the likes of Ronaldo, who when he used to play on the wing, could just beat a man down that wing. Even Valencia, he's very technical. He wasn't really like step overs.
I think Ahmad's that guy. To be fair, he was taking on quite a few players.
Well, in that last game though, I only saw the first half, to be fair, but I've not really seen enough anyway when I've seen him before. Like Ole didn't give him enough of a chance, to be fair as well. But yeah, in terms of the youth, man, it's great to see that. Vujinator was saying United's youth setup at the moment is 17, 18, 19, 20-year-olds coming through, bags of talent. This is what I like, and this suits what Rangnick likes to do. He likes to get people coming in on their first contract. He doesn't really like to have players that are trying to sign their third or fourth contract. He likes fresher players, hungrier players. I think we're going to see that. And it's unfortunate that Rouse had to come in this kind of Christmas rush. It's like he's having to have his kind of philosophy fast-tracked, and you should never fast-track things. For me, if you're going to work on things that are beautiful, like in terms of a proper football philosophy, it should never be rushed. And it's like that. I mean, I hope we can be patient as a fan base, but everyone's entitled to their opinion. We're going to see what happens, but I just hope it can be fast tracked. I mean, we've seen that Rangnick is getting in the sports psychologist, Sasha Lenz, one of the coaches that knows his kind of philosophy, Chris Armas. So maybe these guys can help, man. I mean, I don't know what they're going to do in the psychology room, man. I mean, I'm just hoping Sasha can work some kind of Jedi mind trick, man. Just tell them once straight, you guys know that you should be champions. You are not underdogs. Hopefully we can see some hypnosis or something, guys. But getting back to Norwich anyway, fun fact coming up, guys. I don't know if it's fun, actually. Norwich have lost 8 of the last 10 Premier League meetings with United, I'm sure that is. United have won 11 of their last 13 visits to Carrow Road. So the omens are looking good. I mean, I'm sure there's other 2 visits were maybe draws. So I'm not worried about Norwich. I reckon we're going to turn them over. And I reckon it's time to get into like what kind of team we will see Rangnick play. So obviously everyone was rested for that Young Boys game. have you got like a team in mind that you think will start?
I think it will be pretty much the same team as when we played Crystal Palace. I think it'll be that sort of team.
Right.
But yeah, exactly the same team, because it wasn't that when Dallo played as well. So you had Dallo and Tellez with Mac Sauce in the middle, Mac Fred in the middle. I meant.
Yeah.
Wasn't it a 4-2-3-1 formation? Wasn't it?
It's 4-2-2-2. Yeah.
That's the one. Yeah, I keep on forgetting. I've got that 4-2-3-1 in my head. I really hate that.
Ollie's really imprinted that us. He's really imprinted that on us. I mean, yeah. But yeah, he's thinking it'll be the same team as Palace. So,
yeah, I think it'll be the same team and the same formation.
I'll just run through the team quickly that started that one then. So it was De Gea, Tellez, Lindelof, Maguire, Dallo, Fred, Bruno, McTominay, Ronaldo, Rashford, and Sancho. So you're still thinking those guys will start?
Yeah.
I think that there's a shout that Greenwood comes in for Rashford.
Yeah, I agree.
That's the only potential sub that I see.
Sorry, say that again. That went over my head. Sorry, say it again.
Instead of Rashford, Greenwood. So it would be Ronaldo
Greenwood,
and Mason up top.
Ah, interesting, man. Well, Usman, you're agreeing with that as well?
Yeah, I mean, for me personally, that would make the most sense, because I feel like, again, you got to play people on merit, and I think Rashford, for all the talent he's got in the world, for whatever reason, it's not happening for him at the moment. I thought against Crystal Palace, he had a couple of decent moments early in the game, but after that, okay, his pressing is okay, but he was completely non-existent. I mean, Greenwood, for me, he scored an overhead kick. I mean, do you know what I mean? Like, he's a player with confidence. He's going to come in, he'd probably bag a couple of goals. And I think, he'll be playing up front with Ronaldo, which will help him as well. I think the only other clear substitution would be Van de Beek for McTominay, but I'm pretty sure we all agree that that's not going to happen. So I'm not even going to entertain that as a notion. So, yeah, I think Greenwood for Rashford definitely makes sense. And I think it's deserving of Greenwood to get his chance when Rashford's not on form.
I mean, I hope. I mean, I hope Van de Beek comes in, because I'm really fed up of seeing McTominay, and what you said about his interview, Usman, really disappoints me, because that kind of reminds me of what Ole used to do in terms of being like a politician, like you said, coming in to an interview and trying to just bypass questions and try and talk about how we play football on the front foot when we were doing counterattack for like 3 years. So I really, I want to ask people in the chat then, do you think we may see Van der Beek come in and be, trusted alongside Fred? It'd be interesting. I just want to see what people are saying in terms of what we've been discussing. Jim James, thanks for getting in here. Greenwood for Rash. So yeah, they're agreeing with you guys. Manu Pasta saying, yeah, Greenwood better than Rashford. Yeah, I mean, for me, I'm just thinking about changes as well. Yeah, Gongshi was asking, what do we think about changes? Greenwood for Rashford. I mean, I really do want Rashford to hit some form, because that pace that he has, man, he's like the Usain Bolt of our team. The way he can get in behind, and when I just remember when Lindelof's played that long ball over the top, that's just got into him, and then you just head down, finish a bit like Vardy. If we can have him play like Vardy alongside Ronaldo, he's the pace in behind. Ronaldo is the fox in the box. That would be awesome. But because Greenwood played that last game, I don't know if he comes in. I mean, if he's fit, maybe. But in terms of what I would have, I would change. I would put Van der Beek in for McTominay. That's the change I would do. And then maybe Greenwood could come on as like a super sub. I'm not a fan of Elanga, guys. Like I said, I'm not really seeing the dribbling that I want to see from him on the wing. I wasn't really impressed with him when he came on against Crystal Palace. But like Usman was saying, like, I like that these guys are getting tried. There doesn't seem to be this favorites thing. People are getting a fresh start. And yeah, I really like that about what Ralph is doing so far.
I was going to say also, this could be a confidence booster for Rashi in front of goal against Norwich with the amount of goals that they've let in.
Yeah,
I mean, it could be a confidence booster for a lot of players, but I think it's important that we get the 3 points first. I mean, at the end of the day, I'm all for playing people into form, etc. But I think we need to beat them in the first half. Then you can sub a Marcus Rashford on when it's 60 minutes on the clock, potentially, when we're 2 to 3-0 up. Not to say that Rashford being on the pitch affects us from win the game, because I still think we'll win if he starts comfortably. But I just think get Greenwood on, give him 60 minutes, he'll probably bag a goal. Ronaldo will bag a goal. We'll be 2-0 up. Give Rashford 35 minutes when the game's over practically, and he hopefully will get his goal then. But I just think it's important that we rotate the squad, especially when players like Rashford, not just Rashford, but other players in the team as well, are not performing to the standard of Manchester United Football Club, regardless of whether we think it's beneficial for them. We need to focus on the team personally.
Exactly. I couldn't agree more with that. Go on.
I was just going to say the part that Usman said that really stuck with me is the first half, because for me, we even when we are dominating opponents, we're slow, right? And what I mean by that is we're slow to score. And usually it's in the second half that we kind of start to warm up a little bit. Usman, what I'm looking for is I'm looking for Ralph to instill where we are attacking from the get-go, right? And we go into halftime 2-0 up on an opponent, so that at 60 minutes, like you're saying, we can make those changes, right? And we can start to kind of implement the way that we want to do things, making the subs that we want to and not the subs that we have to, in order to catch up or to get a goal. Like I think a lot of times we have been in the past. We've been chasing the game instead of trying to take our game to our opponent.
I mean, that's what should have happened in the Crystal Palace game, because we did come out and we suffocated them for the majority of that half. We just didn't have the goals. We created a lot of chances, but we didn't get the goals. I think we were just unlucky. So I want to see what Ralph Rangnick keeps talking about, the control. And that's the key word of that first press conference that Ralph Rangnick did at Man United. He emphasizes to play with the ball away from your goal. That's what I want to see. I don't want to see Maguire and Lindelof doing ponderous passes in between them. I want to see forward vertical passes, which is, that's what gegenpress is, getting the ball forward quickly. And that comes into my next point, guys. We're not even talked about whether Bailly may start instead of Maguire. Is Maguire going to stay as this captain for now then? Does Ralph even change anything? Does he try and rock the boat a bit? Or is he liking Maguire? I'm not sure what you guys think.
I don't think so. I think Maguire will still be captain until the end of the season, and then probably change it up then.
Okay.
I think just to add to that, I do think Maguire had a good game against Palace, to be fair to him. The one thing I liked about Maguire and Lindelof's performance against Palace was they were very aggressive in the press. There was a couple of occasions they won the ball in the opposition half because they were pressing that high up the pitch. They weren't giving them a moment's rest. So that, look, fair play to Maguire. He had a good game. I can't knock it. Of course, for me, Bailly is definitely my preferred centre back over Maguire without a doubt. But I just again, similar to the Van de Beek thing, I'm not going to sit here and entertain it because I just don't see it happening. I don't see Bailly and Van de Beek getting into the team realistically. So that's why I didn't even bring it up. But I think Bailly's been absolutely fantastic. He was brilliant against Young Boys again. Apart from the Man City own goal, I think he's had a good game every time he's played this season, realistically, give or take.
The shame, too, is that he's going to be leaving for AFCON soon.
Yeah. I think that's during another international break, isn't it, actually? That kind of
No, it's not.
It's not. Okay, I heard that somewhere, so that's a lie then.
But, not that because obviously Liverpool fans keep crying about their players leaving, don't they? So.
Yeah, because I was hearing on, I don't know what show it was anyway, but they were saying there was a break that was going to happen that would account for some of the time, and then I think it was two Premier League games that Salah and Mane are going to miss. I heard that on a different show, but yeah, I don't think it's going to be that bad if Bailly gets started now. I think we'll only miss a few games.
You're not going to start anyways, but like someone said in the chat there, Bailly and Varane, I think Shadad said it in the chat, Bailly and Varane should be there. His number one choice. Varane has to play, so I don't know who's going to partner him. Of course, hopefully Varane can stay fit. But for me personally, I would go Varane and Lindelof because again, I don't see him putting Bailly in. I think Lindelof's passing. I know. Obviously, Jared's from America. Listen, Lindelof is the definition of a quarterback, is he not? Like the guy is unbelievable with his passing from range. Like I just think he would have. Lindelof, right? Kind of frustrates me because I feel like he would have been such a good DM. Because I just thought he would have been perfect. Of course, if he could play that role, but his ability on the ball is absolutely phenomenal. I just wish he was a DM, because then he's got the sort of capabilities of starting attacks from any part of the pitch, and you've seen it as you mentioned with the Rashford passes earlier. So yeah, for me, Lindelof, out of anyone, has impressed me the most with his ability on the ball and his just overall composure. So I think Lindelof actually needs to be in the team. It would be Lindelof and Varane for me when everyone's fit.
I think it's going to be. I think Lindelof is going to be key, because the way that we are watching this season play out is that Varane is getting injured, and missing chunks of the season, and Bailly gets injured too. So that leaves us Maguire and Lindelof and potentially Mengi, right? So I'm going to be interested to see how this season plays out, and if Rangnick, he already knows that keeping Varane fit is the key to our season. But I think having quality, having backups and healthy backups like Lindelof is going to, or Lindeflop, as G Wolf likes to call him, is going to be big as the season goes on.
Yeah. He's
actually been pretty sturdy since he's been back.
He has, but that is my biggest concern. He does get bullied a lot, which is a massive L. But yeah,
that's why I think he'll be all right. That's why I think, because I agree with like you saying, like if he was able to play holding midfield, that would be nice, because okay, you can get bullied there, but at centre backs where you need your proper strength because it's your last line of defense. But because Lindelof is good on the ball, it would be good if he could start as maybe a deep lying playmaker, play them balls that we know he can play over the top to Rashford, things like this. It's a shame that sometimes he gets bullied.
You can't do worse than McTominay DM, can you? Let's be real on that. So.
No, man. Well, guys, we're on 43 likes. Guys, get it up, man. Come on, get it up, guys. Free content here.
Can we just add? Can we get that to 50 likes and also get Flying Pig to 50k subscribers 50K. As well? That'd be absolutely fantastic. If you haven't, please do subscribe and slap a like. It's completely free to support the channel, man.
It's free, guys. So you got nothing to lose. Get involved in the chat. We try and be interactive when we can.
Yes.
Manu Pastor was saying Bailly, Varane as well. I want to see Bailly and Varane, and it's just like when Kay Slater was saying that they're just like obviously he's saying the truth. They're injury prone, and it's like, how come the most talented guys are injury prone? It's just like that irony kills me. Even though Lindelof's come to a bit of form, Maguire that form he's been on. I mean. Yeah, as Usman was saying, a good last game, but we played enough of that game, I think, away from the goal for him to be protected. He made a few good passes, but I just want to see us play a lot of the football away from our goal. And when I want people to be doing recovery challenges, I don't want Maguire playing in that high line. We're going to see when the better teams come against us, and we got Maguire in the high line. I think it's going to be bad. I don't see Maguire having recovery pace. He doesn't have pace. So as much as he wants to play well in a high line, I don't think he's going to do that well. And it's a shame that
but you've always seen him trying to do the high block
defender. We bought a low block defender for 80 million, guys. And that's what we've done, because he looks good when we're camped in our own box. He's good with. That's why it's called slabhead. Headers away for days. But
it'll be interesting to see how Rangnick sets us up against a team that is, the superior team, so to speak. Because as we know, our running up until March is teams that we're superior to, so they're inferior to us. So we'd set the precedent in all of those games. When it's the opposing factor, when we're playing against the likes of Man City, potentially Liverpool, then we'll really see if Maguire is capable of playing under Rangnick. Because of course, if he continues to proceed with the high line and Mo Salah's running in behind him, or I don't know, Bernardo Silva, for example, then it's going to be a different test, and then obviously we'll find out then, won't we?
Okay, I just want to ask the chat quickly then, because I don't want to isolate the chat like I said before. What do you think, guys? Does Maguire stay as a starter? Does he even stay as captain? And does Bailly come in eventually? Guys, get it in the chat. But guys, we need to do our predictions as well I mean, I'm feeling confident. I'm thinking because I mean, for Norwich's best form to be, what was it? 2 wins, 2 draws, and a loss. And I think that's out of, because I was looking at Norwich's form for like 2 seasons. I was just curious. Like, I think it was last week I was looking at like how many times they've put 2 wins together. I don't think they've put 2 wins together in like 2 seasons apart from this season. Yeah. And for that to be form for a Premier League team, that's terrible. So I don't think we got to worry about them. I just see a 3-0. We get maybe 2 in the first half, and then we're controlling the game in the second half. 1 extra goal. I reckon Ronaldo gets a couple goals. Ronaldo for a brace, and then I reckon because I just want Rashford to do well. I reckon Rashford for the extra goal, guys. Well, yeah. G-Wolf, what do you think for your score, mate?
I'm going 4-0.
Okay,
4-5-0. I think we're going to whitewash them. I think with that new Gegen press, you're going to see that we're going to go full force out and literally dominate them from start to finish.
Nice.
So,
Before I get to everyone else's prediction, let me just honor what I asked the chat. People even saying Mengi better than Maguire. That's a brave statement from Avenger Mass. That's a brave one. I'm not sure. I mean, I think
in time, not right now.
He's a better athlete because what I saw he's got in that Young Boys game is that he's got some recovery pace about him. Because I think he made a mistake for one of the.
Yeah, he slipped over, didn't he?
Yeah, he did a Stevie G in the butt, unlike Stevie G recovered. So fantastic.
Avenger Mass really doesn't like Maguire. Could you imagine the loss of money if he went to Macclesfield Town?
My God.
How much would he go for to Macclesfield Town? Like what, 80k? From 80 million to 80k, maybe.
Take off that zero.
That's not even his wage for a week.
They buy him a new fridge. They buy him a new fridge. Come on.
Exactly.
Yeah, Primo saying Maguire liability overall. I mean, I don't want to dislike the guy too, but it's like he's put up some stinkers, guys. It's Manu Pasta saying Maguire out as well. Yeah, I mean, hopefully he can do well. But yeah, Case Letter, what are you thinking for
I'm going to stand by him.
Yeah, I hope he does well.
I'm on board the 4-0 train. Choo choo. I think we are going to use this game to absolutely. I think Rangnick is going to take the mentality and say we're going to assert ourselves first half, second half, and we're just going to blitz them. And I think we're going 4-0 on this one. And usually I'm very conservative and cautious. I don't usually go 1-0 or I think I'm going 4-0 on this one.
Okay, guys, getting your scores before we get to Usman. Getting your scores quick. Usman, what you've had some time to think. So what you thinking, mate?
I mean, firstly, they've got a few players out with illness, from what I'm aware of. I tweeted that this morning saying that there is a potential scare that it could get postponed, but
you just reminded me, Usman. Sorry, I forgot to say they've got a coronavirus scare, isn't it? They've got to have some tests before the game.
There has been reports coming out during the day that those players are just ill because they did play Spurs, didn't they? So obviously Spurs have got a massive outbreak of COVID at the moment. I believe they've got 16 members of their players and staff currently off with COVID. So there was a scare with Norwich because, of course, they just played them. But it does seem that their players are just ill that haven't got COVID. So off the back of that, those 3-4 players, of course, won't be available for this game. And their squad isn't packed with quality. So for me, anything short of 5-0 is a disappointment. So I'm going to say 5-0.
Wow. Who's your scorers in the 5-0, mate?
Ronaldo, 2, Bruno, and Greenwood brace.
Okay. Wow, I want to see some goals, man.
You don't see Fred scoring twice in a row in the Premier League.
Someone has said Fred there. I mean, I won't be surprised. But I think Greenwood's definitely scoring in this game. Whether he starts or not is a different story, but he will score.
Yeah, people, Primo is saying 4-1 United, Ronnie, Starboy 2. Starboy?
That's Greenwood.
Oh, okay. So, all right, is that his nickname now then? Okay, Starboy.
Do you not know, man? Come on, keep up, man.
I don't know. Is it...
So Here's my question to the rest of you guys, though. How many, if any, but how many of the young crew gets on that bench for this game?
Oh,
Well,
it's a good question, man.
Elanga and Ahmad, I think, would be on the bench realistically.
Yeah, I think Savage.
Really,
Charlie Savage. Really?
I want to see Zidane Iqbal though, man. Like I said,
Mengi as well actually, because we ain't got a right back cover. Because obviously we're used to that.
But guys, I'm dying to see some flair. You know, I want to see stepovers, tricks. I remember Zidane Iqbal in the academy. He did some kind of. He was on the wing and he kind of flipped it over one of the defenders on the opposite team. So he just kicked the ball up, kicked it over his head, went down the wing. It's like he was doing like street ball basically in an academy game. I would hope that Ralph has done some research on Iqbal and seeing like this guy's got some flair. Maybe we could, build on this guy to be our next Ronaldo, next Nani. I mean, obviously I'm getting ahead of myself, but still, if you build someone's confidence, though, the sky's the limit, mate.
Yeah.
Rangnick, go ahead.
Go on. No, Jared, go on.
I just wanted to say that game, it created moments that are going to last in people's minds forever. Charlie Savage having Robbie Savage announce his son coming on.
Yeah.
Tom Heaton, 36, 35 years old, coming up through United and then going away and coming back and going in a Champions League game. That's a moment that's going to live in his mind forever. And Zidane Iqbal, with his makeup and everything that he's gone through, the statement that it's making to the rest of Manchester and the world is big. It's huge. And so I think that there are moments in those games, that game in particular, that is, I think was really important. And it was good. It was good.
I'm excited, guys. I'm excited for what's gonna happen, man. I just wish that. I mean, obviously, it's wrong to keep talking about what I wish for, but it's like, imagine if Ralph came in during that international break and the time he would have had. But hey,
let's look ahead. Let's not.
Yeah, let's look ahead.
You can't change the past, my guy.
Yeah. We'll see. I just gotta see what other people are saying for the scores. Gungshi was saying 7-0. That would be.
I hope Gunshi's right. That's what I'm gonna say.
Imagine the confidence we get from that, though. The confidence would be, we'd be on the.
That would be making a statement.
If we're making a statement,
to share the goals out, because everyone needs a bit of confidence in this team, man.
So,
Rashford gets 2 as well. Share them out.
Yeah,
this game is such a perfect opportunity for everybody to get confidence, man.
Stat pad.
Definitely.
That's the one. Yeah, I want to see some stat padding, man.
I want to see some stat padding by the attackers, man, please.
Yeah, Naz saying 5-0. Everyone's confident. Shazad, thanks for getting here, mate. He's one of the mods. 4-0 United.
Avenger Mass. Positivity, man. It's nice to go into a game with a lot of. But do you know what I mean? Like before, respect. Before we didn't know what to expect. And again, we still don't know what to expect to an extent because only been one game realistically. But we have the expectation of the team to go into the game and play attacking on the front football, and I think that's the key component to why we're so confident. It's more the approach rather than the personnel on the pitch. I think that was the biggest change from, obviously, speaking on behalf of some of you guys here. That was the biggest change for me personally. Seeing that first 8 minutes, we started the game the right way, the way Manchester United Football Club should start games, and I expect us to do the same. And if we do that against a poor Norwich team, it could be 3-0 after 20 minutes. Like, generally, I won't be shocked.
I'm tempted to even change my scoreline, just like, because I'm reading the room as well, and I'm just thinking we'll come out and we'll be too much for Norwich,
What did you say, sorry?
I said 3-0, but
that's still all right.
Avenger Master saying 5-0 Fred hat-trick.
I said 3-0
like Fred.
At half-time. 3-0 at half-time, otherwise we've lost in my eyes. I hope that's the message to the boys.
Yeah, does Sancho have a big game? I
forgot about Sancho. I forgot.
He's getting more confident as he plays, and he's got a few assists in the past few games as well. I'd like to see some more dribbling still as well. So I don't know. Maybe he gets a couple of assists. I would love to see him get a goal. I'm not sure.
See, I think he's starting to make that right side his own as well now.
Absolutely. Also to add on to Sancho, now that you reminded me, I think it's very important that we actually look at Sancho's time at Dortmund. And one thing that was very prominent in his success at Dortmund was the fact that he had a fantastic right back, attacking right back. Of course, both the right backs in his spell was Hakimi and Guerrero, who were both phenomenal going forward in their own right. Of course, we know Hakimi because he's a bigger name. He's done at Inter Milan as well. But I just think it's really important for Sancho as well to have that player like Dalot, who's going to progressively go forward and offer something as well. They give Sancho more space, because when you've got Dalot overlapping you and they know the quality of this, again, I know it sounds disrespectful to Wan-Bissaka, but it is what it is. The opposition know Dalot's got the capabilities to hurt them in the final third, or because we have to go across and cover Dalot. If we give him too much space, he will put a ball on Ronaldo's head and he'll score. When Wan-Bissaka's there, whether we want to admit it or not, some teams will be like, don't worry about it. Give him an extra 10 yards. He's probably not going to do anything because he's not showing me that he's capable of doing something. And then automatically that shift gives Sancho more space and time on the ball. He's more likely going to be in scenarios where he's 1v1 against a defender, because Dalot is dragging players, similar to how Beckham and Gary Neville operated. Obviously not to the same level, of course, as we know. But the way Gary Neville, I know he gets massively disrespected as a pundit, but as a player, his role was so important to Beckham's success, because he would constantly drag players, which gave Beckham time to deliver. So I think Sancho's really going to benefit from Dalot. So I'm happy to see that combination come together as well.
You see, it's interesting that you brought up Gary Neville, because I'm just thinking about how good was he on the ball in terms of going forward. It's like, okay, Wan-Bissaka struggle, but
Gary Neville was very good on the ball.
He wasn't like a proper like these right backs we have nowadays, like Trent Alexander or Hakimi. He wasn't that level. It was pretty much no frills. Get the ball, overlap, and put a cross in. Wan-Bissaka can do that. Wan-Bissaka can do that. I've seen him get assists. He's not completely incompetent.
I don't care about assist numbers, because Luke Shaw got the assists for Mason Greenwood scoring an overhead kick. My guy, come on.
But I'm saying, okay, you don't care about that though, Usman. Yeah, but I'm saying that shows potential that Wan-Bissaka can grow. If he can get some assists before, I just got to finish it though. I got to finish it because he can do certain things to get crosses in, and get assists. It means he has potential in a proper system where those 10s that we're going to have, they are going to push those fullbacks on the other team inwards and create the space for Wan-Bissaka just to go down that right, get a cross in. Before, under Ole, we've had to see him try and beat players because no one's creating the space for him. If we see him in a proper system, and if he gets some confidence back, because I think his confidence is down, I reckon he can do a Gary Neville level of participants in terms of that attack. Gary Neville wasn't special going forward, man.
I know, I'm not saying he was, but the thing is, with Rangnick's system is so influential on the fullbacks. If you actually look at his system and do your research on it, I'm not saying you haven't, I'm just saying in general. If you do research on his system and what's the most prominent key factor of the success, it's the fullbacks. And when I say the fullbacks, I'm not talking about just the ability to get the ball and whip it in or do a Trent, for example. It's about them providing width, providing control, and the ability on the ball to actually start attacks. And I wish I had the graphic here, right? Because I did do this on my tactical show. But if you go and check the stats, the most progressive passes in our game against Crystal Palace was Dalot. And progressive doesn't mean passing the ball necessarily sideways. It means passing the ball with purpose, breaking the line, starting attacks. Wan-Bissaka has not got that in his locker. Whether he's capable of being a Gary Neville and going in and doing whip it, I could do that. If I had space, I could go and whip it in. Doesn't mean I'm playing for Manchester United Football Club. Like, it's not about that. It's about starting attacks. And you see, in this generation of football, so many fullbacks run the game. You got Reece James, you got Trent, you got Cancelo, you got Kyle Walker, you got Hakimi, you've got Alphonso Davies. The fullback is a different role in this day and age. And I think Wan-Bissaka is very good as a defensive fullback in a system that is more defensive, as you mentioned with Maguire earlier. But in an attacking system, when the onus is on him to control the game and i.e. offer a lot of support, I don't think he's up to scratch currently, and I think he's got to elevate his game a lot. Like, I don't even think he's nowhere near Trent or James or Cancelo, or like he's not even in the same like he's not even better than Lamptey. Like, he's not even better than Digne, for example, like Everton. Like he's well behind the pecking order in terms of fullbacks.
I just think Usman with that number 10 on his wing, taking some of the initiative off of him. I mean, you're saying, okay, the attacks are going to be started at the fullback position. I think I think that the manager can compensate for having a Bissaka in there because he's better defensively. You can have your number 10 on the right have a bit more initiative to attack a bit more, and like I said before, pull the opposition's fullback in to create space for Wan-Bissaka just to keep it simple. Wan-Bissaka is still young as well. He's still young,
absolutely.
He can be coached a bit more too.
Look, he can definitely improve, and there's definitely areas for him to improve. And we've got to bear in mind that Delo defensively is shocking. Let's keep it real. Yeah. I'm not a fan of Delo defensively at all. Like Dan Juma violated him. So anyone else who's got any quality, I'm scared. But with Wan-Bissaka, you're not scared because he's pocketed pretty much everyone, including Mbappe and Neymar. So you have that sense of security with Wan-Bissaka. So there's pros and cons. In an ideal world, you'd have a mixture of both of them because then it would be the perfect right back. But for me, with the fixtures we've got, I know Wan-Bissaka's not fit, but just hypothetically, even if he was fit, with the fixtures we've got, I expect Manchester United to control the ball and control the game. Therefore, for me, it makes complete sense for Delo to play week in, week out over Wan-Bissaka because, as I've already stated, in the system, the person who has the ball the most is the fullbacks in Rangnick's system because they have the most space, because the other players, i.e. the two tens behind the two strikers, are occupying the defence, which allows our width and our fullbacks to be in space. So in that scenario, who would you rather have, Delo or Wan-Bissaka? 9 out of 10 times, I'd rather Delo be on the ball than Wan-Bissaka.
So it's a good question for the chat as well. Go on.
Yeah,
please people in the chat get
your thoughts in.
Well, I just wanted to say that it's a nice thing and it's a great thing, a great problem to have that now we have Delo who is playing better, right? Absolutely. He's playing better. So what can happen in my mind is that Wan-Bissaka can sit back, right? Delo is playing, but he's learning under Rangnick. And he's learning what he wants and how to be a better offensive player and a better player in this particular system. And we don't have to play Aaron Wan-Bissaka every single game. He can sit back and learn from Rangnick while Delo is playing. I think that's a great problem to have. The problem is now with Aaron Wan-Bissaka out and now Delo playing, is Mengi is he our backup right back
Probably
for tomorrow's game?
I think so. Yeah, I don't know. To us, I just assume it is.
Interesting.
I'm just always worried about injuries.
Yeah, I'm gonna get to G Wolf because he's been sitting patient. Yeah, I'm sure you got something to say on this, but people have been getting their views in. Johnny saying Gary Neville ping balls into the box. Aaron Wan-Bissaka overlaps the winger and wastes the final ball. I don't think he can fine tune it. He can. I think he's still got some time to improve. Vujnator Gary Neville could put wicked cross in the Spider-Man needs to polish that part of his game. Yeah, I've seen. I mean, it's not been enough from Wan-Bissaka, but I've seen him being able to do it, like I said before.
Yeah, but it's still wayward crosses though. Every time he puts it in, though, it hasn't really gone to anyone. Just hit and hope. It seems like every time Wan-Bissaka puts it in.
Well,
whereas Delo.
Yeah, sorry.
I was going to say, whereas Delo, he sort of controls the ball before he crosses it in, and whips it in. Whereas, Aaron Wan-Bissaka, whenever he whips the ball in, the ball is always rolling. So he's not controlling it. So it just goes wayward.
Guys, imagine this, what Johnny's saying. This is like, I get into devil's advocate, and it's like, it's a waste of time, but it's nice to think about it in the fantasy world. A combination of Wan-Bissaka and Delo. They're attacking the Delo, and they're just the one-on-one tackling of Wan-Bissaka. Ultimate fullback.
He does exist though. He's called Cancelo, but we decided not to buy him. So.
See, that's another dream signing. We're never getting him.
I'm sorry, but it's complete facts. Cancelo is that guy. He can do both. So can Kyle Walker, but we don't have that. So we're just gonna have to deal with it. I was just gonna come on back what you said, G-Wolf. Like, if you actually look at Wan-Bissaka's performance against young boys, how many square passes was he making that were not even going to the intended target from like 10 yards? I mean, there was so many, and I'm not saying he was the only one because everyone was poor realistically. From the more senior players, he wasn't the only one. Lingard was poor, Mata, etc., etc. But he's one of the players that actually got an opportunity to stay a claim in the first team. The likes of Lingard, Mata, They're complete fringe players. They're not realistically going to stay at a claim even if they bag the hat-trick each. But Wan-Bissaka, for me, in that Young Boys game, I was analysing him. I'm sure Rangnick was sat there looking at him. And I looked at him and I just thought, you know what? Not good enough. Simple as. Like, as it currently stands, he's not good enough. He needs to improve a lot to get into this team for me.
I just keep remembering of like there's been like glimpses. I know it's like when someone has glimpses, it doesn't mean that they're going to be overall doing that kind of glimpse. But there's been glimpses where Wan-Bissaka has dribbled past players. He's dropped the shoulder on someone and then gone down the wing. Definitely. And he showed like he's almost a bit like Fred, where he will do something really bad, like you're saying, the square passes that go nowhere, and then he'll just take someone on and putting across that is good. But it's like it needs to be more, isn't it? You need to fine tune it to be more of more doing a better cross and getting past players. But I think right now as well, I think I mean, maybe it could be an excuse. You can come at me for that, but I think he's off form.
Delaw's going to score tomorrow now. Watch, by the way. Delaw will score tomorrow. Make sure you're adding Eddie on Twitter when he does.
No, we're not gonna do Dalot versus Wan-Bissaka on my account. Okay, I'll still support that. I will still support Dalot. No, Usman, I'll still support Dalot, man.
Are you sure? Are you sure?
Yeah, I mean, all I'm saying is that Wan-Bissaka is one of my favorites. That's it. That's what I'm saying. Innit? I want everyone to do well. That's it, really. But
guys, Wan-Bissaka.
I was actually going to bring this up. I was saying it's no coincidence that we have these nicknames for Wan-Bissaka. Spider-Wan, Obi Wan-Bissaka. He's been good in the past, and I know, okay, offensively, he's lacked a bit, but
just let it go, Eddie, man. Let it go, my guy.
He's one of my favorites, though. I'm just trying to defend him.
I'm loving this. You're defending him, and obviously, I've always been a fan of Wan-Bissaka as well, but like I said right at the start of the show, it's not about Wan-Bissaka, it's not about Martial, it's not about Rashford and co. It's about the best suited player to the system and the best player on form and playing on merit. As it currently stands, I know Wan-Bissaka is injured, even if he was fit. As it currently stands, with the fixtures we've got, we expect to control the ball. Who would you like to have on the ball? More prominently, Dalot or Wan-Bissaka. For me, 9 out of 10 times it's going to be Dalot without a doubt. So it's just a simple answer. Wan-Bissaka's got to take it as a challenge and now stay a claim for his spot, and that's what you want, competition in the team.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, guys, we're going to wrap up in a bit, but if anyone's got any questions in the chat, I reckon we should just have
a little 5 minutes. Aaron Van back passer, I like that one.
Aaron, wow, okay.
Van back passer.
That's
that one,
I don't like that one, but I highlighted
it. I love it.
You got some fans in the comments, Usman. Well said, Usman. But we're gonna see. We're gonna see if Wan-Bissaka can come back to proper prominence.
Hopefully,
man.
We'll see. It means he's over this game.
I mean, the debate that we've had shows that there's proper competition in it. Like I've said earlier, it's what we need, man. It's what we need. 2 guys that can play first team. I'm liking it, man. So we're going to see what happens. But before we wrap up, anyone, if you got questions in the chat, we're going to answer, or we're going to come off. But please, if you've not hit the like for Flying Pig. He likes to have these fan debates episodes on where we come on, we have a bit of more diversified opinion. We're on the road to 50k, a few more hundred to go. So subscribe if you do. Give the content a chance. You got nothing to lose.
Don't be a holdout. Don't be a holdout. Just let yourself go with the Flying Pig, man.
Exactly. It's free, people. Come on.
Wow, we got a really open-ended question here. No, I hit the wrong one. Big God Bob said, "What is the point in Maguire?" I mean, we're going to be here another couple of minutes.
Sorry. You get in touch for the next podcast, and we'll answer that one.
I would just say he was on form for England at the time. I think it was.
Hopefully, scoring some headers, man. Bloody hell.
I mean, that's a big thing.
I think that would be a big thing from the fans. Like, if he scores goals, then at least, people. I think people will be on his onside rather than taking the piss out of him.
Yeah, I was just going to say another big reason is that he's just very good at heading the ball out. That's 1 point for Maguire, being able to head the ball out of defence with that slab head. So yeah, that. Okay, Slater, any views on Maguire as to what the point is of him?
I think that realistically, he is the most stable member of that back line, and I think that that's one thing that he has going for him.
Really?
He's
I mean,
he's healthy. He's healthy. He's there every week. You can pretty much count on him, good or bad. He's the guy that you can count on. I think that's one thing that he has going for him.
He had some really bad form. I just can't get past when he got sent off against Watford and then he threw the armband on the ground. That should have been maybe a sackable offence for the way he threw down that armband. For me, that was terrible. Ultimately, that was when Ole had to go as well, because we could have come back in that game. Imagine if we came back in that game, I think Ole would still be here. Ole might have still been here.
Maybe Maguire is a legend after all, but yeah.
Let's not go that far.
Sorry, I couldn't help myself.
That's controversial there, but
yeah, I know it is. Wrap you up.
Okay.
All right.
Guys, I think we're gonna wrap up here then. Thanks, Primo, for the great confidence there, mate. Good show, chaps. Thanks for that. What's Naz saying? I would like to see a lot more from Sancho. More, actually, this is what I'm saying. More dribbles from Sancho, definitely.
Absolutely,
Definitely want to see that. Yeah, man. Usman's jokes, man. Usman's jokes, isn't it? Well, yeah, guys. Thanks for getting in here. Give a final shout out to everyone and getting in here. Johnny, Big God Bob, Jim James, Avenger Mass, Primo, Gugshi, Big God Bob. Yeah, please hit your likes if you haven't. I know everyone's good with hitting the likes that's already in here. There's a lot of familiar names. Naz, Jim James. Just like and subscribe if you're new as well. Road to 50k. So obviously,
yes, Big Gob.
I was going to say I like Finley McCrossan's comment. It was his second comment up.
Is this
says
one?
McTominay's McTominay's brain doesn't allow him to pass
like
forward. It's Donny time.
Yes, lads. Back to that. Yeah, that's what I was laughing at earlier. I was like, oh, back to.
Okay. Yeah, guys, we're gonna wrap up then because Piggo's got to get on with some other content. He might have another news video coming on, but for sure he will be on with FIFA at 11 o'clock. So yeah, everyone, thanks for tuning in. And yeah, I was about to say in the description is all of Piggo's in the description is all of Piggo's links. You can find him on Instagram and Twitter. He talks to everyone. He's a man of the people, so interact with that. Give a like and a follow on his social media. Guys, before we go, where can we find you, G Wolf?
You can find me at G Wolf United Gaming, where I do a load of Rocket League content, GTA. I'll be getting on to the new contract, which new DLC which does come out. So I'll be getting on that when that's available.
Cool.
You know, a load of other games, Minecraft, Doki Doki, that sort of games.
Nice, you're hustling, man. A lot of content there. K Slater, where can people find you?
So I've got my 205 subscribers now as well. So.
Nice. Get over to G Wolf. Get over to him. Give him a subscribe. K Slater, where can we find you, mate?
You can find me on Twitter at Harkes, at HARKES, where I follow all of these lads and all the Man United goings on.
Cool. I'm sure you're doing a YouTube soon as well. I'm sure I've talked to you about that.
I don't know. I keep going back and forth.
You're debating it, yeah? Okay, cool. And
obviously, you do well, actually.
Yeah, it's good talker, man. You know, yeah. I reckon you should try it, Case later. But yes, Usman. Last but not least, where can people find you?
Yeah, firstly, just to echo what Eddie said, please subscribe to the channel right here. We're so close to 50k, so let's just make sure that happens sooner rather than later. Regarding myself, you can find me on Usman Talks United, which is on screen on YouTube and Twitter for all your Manchester United news and daily uploads.
Cool. Yeah, get over to Usman. And for myself, I've got a YouTube channel, Eddie's Football Waffle. I'm going to have some more stuff coming out. I've got something out. I've got something coming out called Fix It Ralph. Just a little bit of talking about his philosophy. So it's subscribe and see if you like that kind of stuff. But yeah, guys, we've been waffling on here quite a bit, so we're gonna wrap up. So everyone, have a good night, and yeah, get back in for Flying Pigs FIFA later on around 11 o'clock.
Get in.
Piggy at the wheel. All right, catch you later, guys.
Later.